Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy here, Judah Yuki, giving you another Yu-Gi-Oh! R5 episode review for you guys. This is episode 126, so let's get started. This episode was absolutely amazing. There was a lot going on. Finally, we got a lot of story revealed, a lot of backstory as to how certain things happened. The story isn't done, of course. There's still more that needs to be explained in the next episode and stuff. But definitely from this, we got a lot of information. So finally, we can just get right into it. The episode pretty much starts off with Yugo pretty much asking Yuri to duel because he wants to, I guess beat him up for whatever reason instead of going to protect Rin or whatever. So he tells Edo, "Oh, go over to the doctor and defeat him." So Edo's gonna go over there to defeat him. Meanwhile, Yugo is gonna take care of Yuri. And alright, so they start to duel, and then we move on from there. We don't get back to them until later. And it starts off with Yusho pretty much kind of reconnecting with Leo and telling him, how could a genius like yourself, who created a solid vision, do such stupid things like trying to cause destruction in order to create this utopia or whatever. How could someone do something so stupid is pretty much what he said. And talks about how he's not a genius. Actually, he's not a genius at all, and it's actually an invention that was already created a long time ago, and he pretty much all he did was recreate it from what was from the United World pretty much. So yeah, he didn't create it. Someone else did from back when the worlds were once one. He pretty much just took the took the technology and kind of evolved it in a sense. So he pretty much wanted to create the perfect real solid vision. He wanted to perfect it. He wanted to make the virtual reality more real, and like you could actually feel the monsters and they could move and everything. So like it was pretty good. Well, not monsters, but they pretty much said like how in the United World they used real solid vision and like different things to for like stores, homes, and this and that. So like it was a big part of their world, or it was starting to become a big part of their world. But Akabeleo, he wanted to pretty much bring something that everybody loved to life, which is duel monsters, and he's like, so he decides to create this for that purpose, to advance duel monsters, the game duel monsters, and create real monsters and make them move around and whatnot. And something he realized during his experiments is that the monsters are able to react to what's going on around them. So they're not just like sitting there, standing there. They can actually react to what's going on around them, and that's because dual monsters actually have souls. They're not just images and this and that. They actually have souls. So when you create that monster using this real solid vision, they become real and they can react to everything around them, and they can move around and do a bunch of stuff. You can feel them, and they have a heartbeat. You can feel the heat of their body and this and that. So he pretty much realized that these monsters are real. They have souls and this and that. So and then he pretty much goes on by saying that this was amazing, and Leo pretty much says that the reason why he wanted to do this was to become famous for the guy who pretty much like evolved the real solid vision thing and made everything, and he succeeded. He pretty much did become famous for that, and he was worshipped for what he's done and everything, and that's all he wanted. So he achieved his dream, and it was great. But obviously this came with a price, and there was a duelist in that world that pretty much started winning a lot, and he wasn't a big deal at first. Like, he was unnoticeable, but he kept winning and winning and winning with his dragons and whatnot, and eventually he became he became the strongest. And obviously this is Zark, so Zark pretty much became the strongest around. He always won, and there was this one incident where he actually hurt somebody in a duel, and he actually looked like scared or surprised at first, but then the audience, for some odd reason, they kind of just found that more exciting, so they're like cheering for him, like, yes, more violence, this and that, whatever. They didn't say that in specific, but they basically said, oh, they want to see more, and then we see the smile on Zark's face, and he's enjoying it because he's receiving praise from everyone else for how he hurt that other duelist. So he pretty much goes around defeating every duelist around, hurting them throughout the duels, using the dragons to pretty much hurt them throughout the duel. I don't know if he caused any deaths, who knows, but he definitely caused a lot of injuries, a lot of pain, and all the audience wanted was more. They wanted more violence, they wanted to see more realistic duels where we get to see people get hurt and this and that. So he pretty much enjoyed that feedback that he got from the audience, and he was super excited by it, and he just continued to hurt more and more and more people through dueling and create more violence because that's what the people wanted. So if you tell me the real villain isn't even really Zark to me, it's actually the freaking crazy ass people in the audience and all the people who wanted to see more violence and destruction and this and that. Like, they're the one who kind of twisted his mind. Yeah, I mean, he's the one doing it. He doesn't have to do it, but like, obviously Zark isn't like very, very good in the head either. But the audience is pretty much obviously if there's like a crowd of maybe 500 or more people and they're all cheering for you, saying that they want to see more, they're excited. I mean, I guess in human nature you want to please them. You want to do just that. So that's pretty much what happened, and they pretty much, the audience in my opinion, pretty much created this monster. It wasn't, Caballero feels pretty much guilty because he's the one who kind of created this monster, but if you ask me, the real monster is the audience, because they're the one who were encouraging that type of behavior and all that stuff, and that's just sick and that's just wrong. And that's how people are in real life. For some reason, people like to watch horror movies and scary movies, watching people get murdered and killed and all this stuff, and it's just disgusting. And it's like, how can you enjoy that? Like, that's not even something that's pleasing. Why would you enjoy something like that? And sometimes in human nature, in real life, it's like that, where we kind of enjoy seeing other people in pain and suffering, and we want more, we crave more or something like that. I don't really enjoy that, but I know that's a part of humans inside of us that we have that kind of enjoys that kind of stuff. But anyway, moving on from that, Caballero mentions he mentions the dragons, and then it pretty much goes into back to the duel with Yugo and Yuri, and Yugo summons his Clearwing Synchro Dragon, and then Yuri goes and he pretty much says like, oh, there's just something about this dragon. Whenever I see it, my want to burn everything to the ground grows more, and I just can't contain myself. So like, whenever he sees that, Clearwing or whatever, he just gets super excited, and he just wants to cause more destruction, which is, symbolic of the whole Zark thing. So I'm pretty sure that since the 4 U boys combined make Zark, Yuri is pretty much the dark part of Zark. It's like his dark half, and like the other 3 are like different personalities that he probably has that got split into 4, while Yuri obtains more of the dark half that wants to see more destruction and more pain and enjoys it and thrills, because that's how Yuri's character has been. In the episode against Asuka, when he dueled her, he pretty much said that he wanted to go to all the dimensions and card everybody and be the strongest, and that's pretty much what Zark is doing. So that's definitely Yuri's definitely his dark half, at least from what I see. It makes the most sense. I'm sure everybody else could probably agree with that as well. So they summon their dragons, and then their dragons start roaring. Their eyes start glowing, and the dragons start roaring. And then we cut to a scene with Yuya where, his eyes are glowing red, and he's like sweating, and like there's a lot of intense pressure going on inside of him. And he picks up his deck, and then it falls and it flips over, and we see Dark Rebellion and Odd Eye. So the 4 dragons are pretty close, near to each other, and the 2 dragons are glowing, and this is going on while the story's going. And pretty much what happens after that, we cut back to the whole Zark thing and how he was pretty much became the best of the best out there. There was a virtual hologram of him talking, and the audience were like all cheering for him, and he says, oh, is there anyone out there who could challenge me, and this and that, and and he was saying, oh, if you guys want more, you guys gotta want it. You guys have to cheer for it. And they were all saying, yes, we want more, or violence or whatever. He said, fine, then I'll give you guys more. I'll give you guys your wish, and I'll pretty much destroy the world. And then Caballero, he's like, wait, what? Destroy the entire world? And that's exactly what he pretty much started doing. He summoned his 4 dragons in front of the audience, and then all 4 of the dragons sent like blast to the audience and started killing people left and right. Pretty much became completely vicious and destructive, and it was just terrible. And that's pretty much how it continued off there. At some point, the people, the army and this and that came over to try to attack the dragons and try to get rid of them. Obviously, it didn't work. These monsters are real now, and they're not holograms. They can cause a lot of destruction. So, all the 4 dragons, they destroyed all the army guys, all their machines, tanks, whatever they had, airplanes. Everything was just destroyed, and they couldn't match up to these dragons. And then other duelists pretty much said that in order to defeat Zark, they have to find other duelists or something to be able to fight it. Actually, this happened a little bit later. But what happens before that is that Ray, yes, the combination of the 4 uses, she pretty much says that, she says anger, and that the dragons are angry. And pretty much Leo says that the dragons were angry because they made them real, they made them solid, and the want and desire for the people wanting to destroy everything kind of like got them angry and pissed off, and they wanted revenge, which is why. So it's kind of like the dragons were also like controlling Zark, and Zark was like controlled by the people's desires and wishes, and it just became this really crazy, psychotic, just kind of senseless violence, and it was just ridiculous. And pretty much the dragons said that they want more power and they want to become one, and Zark says, oh, I want the same thing, I want to we'll become stronger and we'll combine this and that. So he gets a card from his deck and puts it up in the air, and Yuya pretty much says that that's a monster called the Creator of Space-Time, which is Astrograph Magician. And he used that card to create like this, kind of like this portal sort of thing, or this, kind of like this portal thing, kind of like how you see in the opening where you see, that pendulum gate or whatever. I don't know how to describe it, but it's this portal, and he pretty much combined the 4 dragons along with himself. And right there, when they combine, this destructive monster comes out, and that's pretty much the Supreme King Dragon Zark. So the 4 dragons along with Zark fused together and created this ugly, well, we didn't even really get to see a lot of it, but it looks monstrous, and it looks pretty badass as well. And this dragon was so powerful, and it annihilated everything, and that's when they tried to bring duelists to try to fight it. Obviously that didn't work, and I believe that's pretty much how it's left off. And in the next episode, I guess Ray is pretty much going to try to stop it. So we'll see what happens with that. What happened after that was like Reiro was getting scared, and then Reiji was telling him to calm down. This is just a myth. And Leo says, oh no, this is not a myth. This all happened in front of my eyes. And soon the world will be destroyed once again because of the Supreme King Zark or something like that. And that's how the episode pretty much ended. So a lot of crazy stuff happened there. It was an amazing episode story-wise and everything. Like, I'm really glad they didn't focus too much on the Yugo and Yuri duel, because we got more story out of it. And I love how they transitioned from going to the story to going to the Yugo and Yuri duel. I really love the transition there. I felt they did that perfectly well. I'm confused as to what's going to happen, because in the preview we see that Yuya is with Yusho and Reiji and the others, and I guess, and so I don't know what happened there, because it looks like the awakening is happening. So, but apparently according to this episode, it seems like they snap out of it somehow. So I'm curious to see how that's going to go down. And apparently Ray does something to try to stop the dragons. Apparently Ray and the Caballero were really close, from what it seems. Because in the episode it says, Ray says to Leo, oh, I'm not gonna let you get hurt, or I'm not gonna let you die or something. And yeah, so then she does something pretty big with her monsters and tries to do something. So we'll see what that is. I can't wait for that part. It's gonna be amazing. But that's what happened here today in this episode. I don't think I missed anything. I doubt I did. Maybe I missed a few small details here and there. Hopefully I didn't miss anything too big for you guys. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this. It was an amazing episode. Can't wait to hear more and see this all resolve. And we see the 4 users in their respective tubes or cylinders in the next episode. So they're going to be sacrificed, or rather fused, combined together to form Ray again. So this is just getting really good and really intense. So much is going to happen. I can't wait to see how this is all gonna play out. But that's the episode review for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate everything. God bless you guys. Gotcha.